Who is going number one in the NFL draft? Nobody knows. This is one of the more crazy, shaping up to be one of the more crazy NFL drafts that we have ever seen. Okay, so any number of these people can go number one overall. I've seen so many mock drafts have Abdul Carter. I've seen so many mock drafts have Travis Hunter. I've seen so many mock drafts like The Athletic saying Cam Ward is going to the Titans, which I'm going to explain. That doesn't make any sense. And of course, I've seen Shedeur going number one overall. Nobody knows how the top 4 or 5 picks are going to shake out. It has not been like this since Reggie Bush got drafted. Everyone thought Reggie Bush would get drafted number one overall to the Houston Texans. They actually went Mario Williams, Reggie Bush, then Vince Young, and then I think Matt Leinart, and however it went. Nobody really knew how the order was going to go, and that, I believe, is going to get repeated here. Anyone that says that The Athletic in any other mock draft that has Cam Ward going number one to Tennessee Titans have not watched the Tennessee Titans all year. And let me tell you why. They have fired their general manager, who was unfortunately one of the few black general managers in the NFL. They fired him and they kept the head coach. The head coach is well liked. He comes from a lineage, Coach Callahan. His dad is actually on his staff. Bill Callahan was a longtime NFL coach who was with the Cowboys, who was with the Washington Commanders, who was also the Oakland Raiders head coach, who was also the Nebraska Cornhuskers coach. He is an offensive guru. Both Callahans are. Both of them value offensive line play. Both of them value quarterbacks throwing on a schedule. If you are asked to throw the ball, we need you to throw it on a 3, on a 5, or a 7. They need you to play within your schedule. You can have off-platform throws, but that's really not how their offenses work. If you have watched the Tennessee Titans all throughout this year, one of the things that has aged Coach Callahan the most, probably both of them, have been Will Levis. Will Levis has a lot of talent, but he has so many bloopers, and he is played off schedule on those bloopers, and that has driven them absolutely crazy. You can see it on the sidelines. He's often mouthing, "What the F are you doing?" Kind of like Brian Daboll when Daniel Jones was up in the Giants as well. Back to the Titans. If you have 2 quarterbacks and one has a comparison of off-schedule throws, off-platform throws, that is Cam Ward. Cam doesn't care. He will throw it on a 3-step drop. He'll throw it on a 6 step. A 5-step drop, he'll throw it on his 8th. He'll just stand there and throw the ball. That is going to drive them crazy. That is the same quarterback that they're getting with less bloopers. If they want to sign up for that, I highly doubt it, okay? So even though they have a new GM, they just hired this person. He has to work with the coach that's there. They believe in Callahan. Callahan knows what kind of quarterback he wants. Cam Ward is extremely off schedule, so to me, no disrespect, he is not a fit for that system. So I do not see, since they kept Callahan, he's not a fit for that system. I do not see them drafting Cam Ward number one overall. You got to think about scheme. If they had fired the coach and the general manager, my hand will be up in the air. I would say, you're right. I don't know. It could be Cam Ward. It could be whoever. Now, Tennessee has the option to trade this pick. Outside of the top 10, I'm going to get straight to it. The only team outside of the top 10, really the top 5 that could trade up to that spot is the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why is because they have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has a no trade clause, but he could be traded to Tennessee, who also does not have state income tax. It could be a new start. Dak does play on schedule, and he is a experienced NFL quarterback with experienced NFL coaches. That could possibly happen. Now, the Cowboys have not mortgage their future whatsoever. They have the first round draft picks in the future to add to that deal to jump up. That is the only scenario. And that, to me, is what Dallas is going to be grappling with if they really want Coach Prime or not. Coach Prime may say, hey, I love the situation, but drafting 12 and working with Dak and doing all this stuff, I want to coach my sons. That is the only way I can see it getting done. And I don't know. Tennessee just got their general manager. I don't know what's going to happen. I do see, to me, more likely that Tennessee Titans flip within the top 3 picks or top 4 picks. I don't see the Patriots coming up. I see the Giants coming up. I can see the Browns coming up. The problem with the Browns, they have no damn draft picks from the years before, because they traded it to Houston, they are going to be extremely shy. They just got their draft picks back, and Deshaun Watson's not going to play. So to me, they are in a position where they're just going to sit and stay there. The only team that means they're going to trade up are the New York Giants. That's the only ones they could flip for and still get a top tier player. So that is what I think is more likely to happen, is them trading the pick and going into the Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins sweepstakes, trying to see if they can get them a bridge quarterback until the next 2-3 years. The problem with that, they're not the only quarterback needy team. I just mentioned the Cleveland Browns. I could see Cleveland going after a whole bunch of bridge quarterbacks, and the best of the bunch will want to think about Cleveland. Cleveland has a fantastic team. You talk about Myles Garrett, you talk about their defensive backfield, you talk about their on offense. They got a good team. They've just been held back by substandard quarterback play. If Russell Wilson, in fact, had went to the Cleveland Browns, I think it would have been a completely different season for them. He would have won a few more games for them, which Russell Wilson should be on top of their list. I don't know if he goes back to Pittsburgh. He already knows the AFC North. He can go to Cleveland and be there for 2-3 years. We're going to see. But I can see that happening. The problem with Cleveland and Tennessee taking that route, and New York, by the way, taking that route, they're going to be in competition with a lot of different teams that are quarterback needy. You're talking about Pittsburgh again, who drafts later on in the first round. You're talking about teams like the Jets. You don't know what they're going to do, whether they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers back or not. So it's a lot of uncertainty. We'll see what happens. I think Cleveland, if they can get into that bridge quarterback, because free agency is before the draft, if they can get a good quarterback in, I think they could take a long look at Abdul Carter at number 2, or try to trade down and get Abdul Carter in the next pick or the pick after that. Pairing him with Myles Garrett would be crazy. Same thing with the Giants. If the Giants get Kirk Cousins on a second round pick to Atlanta, they pick Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. But let's go with Abdul Carter. Pairing him with Thibodeau would be just like the New York run you all had in the Super Bowl, where you had Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, and Osi Amenyora on the other side. So it can go either way in the top 5 picks. I think it's going to be insane. We're going to be continuing to cover it. But I don't think Cam's going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Can somebody trade up and get him? I think that's a possibility. But I think right now, if they stay pat, if the Tennessee Titans don't want to trade the pick, I think it'll be Shedeur Sanders number 1 overall. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Subscribe.